don't know if we can show blood on YouTube, so I'll blur it if possible, but...
Yeah, had a little accident.
I called that, too.
What is going on? So I got no oil pressure.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the channel, I'm Dave, and this is Road Garage. So we've got another week full of projects. Big surprise. So we've got stuff happening with the Corvette, with the Lambo, and the McLaren. The McLaren is getting body and paint on the backside because the goal is to get this thing done within this next month. After like a year and a half. So we got some cool stuff. Enjoy. So we are on the 720, the McLaren 720's rear bumper. They actually had kind of band-aided this thing up to where it looked halfway decent. I thought I was going to be able to kind of work with it, do some body work and all of that and make it work. As I got into it and started to grind to get rid of filler and like figure out what kind of structure I was actually left with, I was left with crap, at least on this driver's side corner. And this actually was the part I was gonna be able to repair. Nice, jagged, you know, it's like a puzzle piece that goes together here. So what they had done is they wired this. They had some wires that ran through the seam here.
Oh, yeah.
They were all even already rusted. You can still see some of the wires here. They wired it and then had just gobbed a whole bunch of like fiberglass and crap. It looked like poop on the back and kind of had that together. It actually looked halfway decent from the outside. This part, I can fix that. But the part I couldn't fix is this. You know, big surprise here. I got a different bumper that's also broken, but it's got the pieces that I need to make this work. So this is what was on there. And this is, all of this is missing. So I started grinding away the filler, and this is actually where the factory part of the bumper just ended. Like, that's how it was. Just, I'm sure this break is from the original accident. And this piece is just nowhere to be seen. So this whole thing was just like filler. This, I can't recreate. You know, all the body lines. On the inside here, there is all of these bits that slide into this lower portion of the bumper. And it's just all gone. Like there's nothing here. The cheapest like decent bumper I could find was like $1,500 plus shipping and all that. It was gonna be like $2,000. So I ended up getting this one that was broken, but it had everything on the driver's side that I need for like $700. Came from Canada. I seem to be getting a lot of stuff from Canada lately. So we're going to take this bumper that's all of this side of it, cut it, splice and dice to my original bumper, because on this one, basically from here over, this one's in good shape. This one, not so much that side. So we're gonna take two bumpers and make one that actually works. And it's all gonna work out, because I'm Dave. That right there is McLaren gold. Their plastic is literally laced with gold because that's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, I'll be taking this to the junkyard. Thank you.
What I'm doing is I'm taking away enough material that I'm leaving room for my new fiberglass piece to bond to it. And we'll do this on both sides so that we're not adding more thickness to it. It'll end up being the same thickness overall that it was originally, but it'll actually be bonded with a special flexible epoxy on both sides, so this piece will sandwich it. And we'll do this to both sides of it, and then we can sand it out, do some filler, and that makes it all nice and perfectly flat. Not sure if this is the McLaren approved method, but I don't care. We won't cut it there. So now you can see a little bit of the method of the madness.
Hey, it actually kind of looks like a bumper now.
I mean, to the guys that I bought this car from, that right there is mint.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
See no problem with it.
You know, this, we're going to literally just have this one little seam that's even exposed. This will all be underneath. And even though it's underneath, it's still, you'd never be able to tell once I'm done.
Oh, did it get you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I don't know if we can show blood on YouTube, so I'll blur it if possible, but...
Yeah, had a little accident.
I called that too. Oh. Yeah. Safety squints, I guess, is all you need.
This is not Bondo, guys. This is actually a epoxy. It's a 2-part epoxy.
Yeah, very pleasant smell.
Yes. This little bit of body work won't take hardly any time at all.
Yeah, compared to trying to rebuild that corner or
Oh my gosh.
rebuild that whole
And it
side.
would still, there's just absolutely nothing I could do to not have it look hacked. But this is all great.
Yeah. Look at that. You got a bumper. A full bumper.
A multicolored bumper.
A couple hours later.
There it is. Right there. So this one was one that was in decent shape. Well, it still had repair work to do, but at least it was complete. It was a similar blue, $1,500 plus $250 shipping. So $1,750 plus tax, pretty dang close to $2,000. And the one I got, so this is what I paid for this one, $616.
Nice.
Much better than like almost $2,000.
Yeah, much better.
So this top layer that I'm doing, that we're sanding here, the first structural filler that I do is actually Bondo. Bondo is good for the thicker part of the structure and shaping it, but it wants to shrink a lot more. So I get it really close, and then I do a much thinner skim coat to kind of finalize the waves and everything. I do a 120 grit to get it close in shape, and then I'll do a 220 on top of that to get rid of the heavier scratches, and then I'll prime it. Once I get this all done and then primer, then everything else gets wet sanded with a 500 grit to actually prep for the paint itself. First start with the new turbo system. Let's see if it sounds any different. Is it same? I don't even know. I know that we'll see the little whirly bits in there moving.
Oh yeah.
at least with this, if I do need to talk to Comp Turbo about them not kind of breaking loose, we can actually see what they're doing. I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah.
And we'll see after getting some heat, getting them to heat cycle some and all that, if those bearings free up a little bit. But yeah, seems to be working all right.
Yeah, looks insane too.
So we have been hard at work with this new twin turbo setup for the Corvette. I think it's turning out pretty good. My TIG welding keeps getting better. It's still far from being like a pro, but you know, I can say I built it. So we've got our massive 8.5 inch long downpipes off of the turbos, where we can actually see the wheels and everything inside from behind turning in there, which I think is pretty dang awesome. We got our wastegates. The only thing I still have left to fabricate is the little downpipes off of the wastegates. So I'm gonna take these and just drop them straight down. So they'll just have 2 pipes straight down. I'm not gonna worry about trying to get them coming straight back. Our new intake pipes that ties into the existing, I modified and made all of that. Of course, we got clamps and that we're gonna put on there, but everything is ready to clamp and just secure. Then we've got dual 3-inch into a 2-inch V-band that goes into the turbos. And I made, this is a separate pipe with everything tied off to some good solid mounts with the frame there, so everything is nice and solid, and I can actually pull now the exhaust in front of the turbos, and the turbos can just hang here without being actually connected to pipe. And then before, we had on our air filters, we had it run in this 2.5-inch pipe. This is some of the pipe off of the inlets for the turbo, and it routed all the way up, and both of the air filters were behind the taillight. So now, instead of that, we've got 2 4-inch inlet K&Ns right on the front, and I will end up building just a little bit of a shield here, just in case I do get caught in some moisture in that. It'll at least help protect from these getting direct moisture. Being that it's not right behind tires, it'll just be kind of general road spray. It's not gonna be anything where it's kicking it right onto the tire. So it should be pretty good. We did fire it up for the first time. I think it sounds pretty good. It's definitely louder. We'll see what it's like when it's actually under boost and how much turbo noise and everything that we hear. But I think it's really coming along nice. Looking pretty clean. We are gonna wrap this exhaust again to help trap some of that heat in there, help keep the turbos spinning good and protect everything around it. Then we can go on to the suspension. So we've got some BC coilovers, front and rear. And for the bushings, we have a Borg Industries, it's their 100 AF, so it's a solid bushing for all of our uppers, lowers, front and rear. So it should make this thing handle like it's on rails. And I think my bushings before were pretty hammered because the whole car, it was kind of wandering, and you'd hit bumps in the back and you'd kind of feel the back end kind of move around. So I'm excited to see how this thing handles, how the turbo performs. We'll end up going through and doing a new tune and more boost, of course, and see what kind of power this thing makes. All right, so I've been working on the back here, fitting everything before I actually paint the quarter panels in this rear bumper. You can see the rear bumper where I splice and diced Mr. Teal to Mr. Black. And there's my seam. Can you find it? I think it's looking pretty good. So we're getting all of this fit, this bumper. I took all of the Bondo and everything off that they had and getting all of this sorted and correct. We've got a couple little cracks. I got a TIG weld because this is all aluminum. But what I want to talk to you about is this cool looking titanium exhaust and how big of a shame it is to cover it up, because I think it looks really cool. So we have what they call the armadillo cover that goes in the back. So see here, really cool looking. And then this slides in like so. And now, other than looking through right here, you can't even see it. So the only way you can even see that exhaust is right through back here, and there's even going to be a grill that goes there. So my idea, I want to cut this whole center out, and I'm gonna modify it and then repaint it so that it doesn't look like I hacked one up. But I'm thinking that would be cool because then we'll be able to see what's going on here. We're still gonna try and figure out if we like the look of just it being open or maybe doing mesh in there that maybe matches this. The a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing is even this plastic one, so they have a version of this that's carbon as well. The carbon one's about $700-800. Even this stupid plastic one is still like $500. So, yeah, so I think I'm just gonna cut it. No turning back now! Now it was like $400 or $500. Now it's $200. Oh boy! I cut it a little bit big at first, and then, dude, I think that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually looks like it could have came like that.
You know, to be honest, I think I just leave this.
Yeah.
And I think I can trim this back more so that essentially it just looks finished, like a nice straight finished edge right there. And then this will just screw on, and that'll screw on like that, like it did before. I could do some mesh on it again, but we could kind of see what we like out of this first.
All right, Dave, where are we going?
We are off to finally get some tires. My tires have actually been sitting over at my buddy Ethan's shop for, geez, a couple of weeks now. Just haven't had a chance to get it, so we've got a free moment. We're headed over there. We got to top it off and get out of here. He's about a solid 45 minutes to an hour to get out there, so we'll roll out there and do that and get the alignment done. Now that's a wide tire.
Yeah, it is.
Dude,
that's what you need, dude. That'll give you all the traction if it was just that much combined.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, this is so much softer than
Yeah,
the tires.
Yeah, they are. Oh yeah. They have no problem with traction on those. Some freshies. You gonna leave a sticker on it?
Yes.
You'll let everybody know you got some brand new 888Rs.
Yeah, we're gonna love working those things out.
That'll take you about 5 seconds.
I was gonna say about one bullet.
Okay, yep, they're gone.
Feel my bad.
And once again, shout out to Ethan and the boys at Spanish Fork Point S, getting the car aligned, some new tires. Things should hook up pretty nicely now.
We got new tires and alignment. Actually, when we did the alignment, everything was like perfect. We didn't have to adjust anything, so we're good there. We gotta test them out. We gotta, burn off the papers, the stickers. My warning stickers. These were the first tires I've ever got that had a warning sticker on it about they may not get good traction in wet weather. So let's see how they do. We'll do a little mild pull here, of course staying within the speed limit. But it didn't spin.
No.
And I'm not speeding either.
No, it hooked right up.
Oh man, it's good. Toyo R888Rs.
The revised.
Are you ready for some traction? What is going on? So I got no oil pressure.
Oh no.